Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. What we're going to talk about today is the same thing we talked about last week. And what that is my secrets to life extension. Because the show was very popular last week. We got a lot of calls, a lot of people contacting us with other further questions. And several people said, can you keep doing that? That was amazing last week's show. So we're going to continue on that vein of the things that I've researched in the past 40 years on the things that are the things we're going to talk about are the things that science has documented, well documented, can help increase your life expectancy. Now, there's no guarantees. There's no promises. I'm not saying I have a cure for immortality, but there are a lot of things that we can do that can make our lives a whole lot better, a whole lot healthier, and a whole lot longer. In fact, I just saw, was it today or yesterday, that the oldest living person in the world, 119 years old, passed away. So I want to be her. I want to replace her. But I don't want to be miserable in my final years. I want it to be fun. I want it to be active. I want to be pain-free. I want to be moving around. I want my brain to work. So the things we're going to talk about are these little tips that I've come up with over the years that work. And they work because I've been doing them. And I know they work. And the best decision I think I ever made, or one of the best decisions I ever made, was to change my diet 35 years ago. And say, okay, what can I do to keep myself healthy? And I had the foresight way back in my 20s to say, wow, this is something that's really cool. I hope it works. Well, test results show that, yes, it does work. Obviously, it works. So I'm going to share my secrets, things that I do every day with you so that you can hopefully have a good, healthy, happy life. And the cool part is this. It's a whole lot cheaper to be healthy than it is to be sick. So you'll save a ton of money. People say, well, I don't want to run out of money when I get old. You probably won't because you'll be healthy, so you'll make more money. But B, you're not going to spend as much because you're going to be healthy. So I don't see a downside to any of this. If I did, I'd tell you about it. So we covered a lot of things last week. I don't want to be redundant, but we did say that 25% of your health comes from your genetics. 75% comes from your decisions. So at 75%, you pass the test. So I want you to pass the test. You can make these decisions on what to eat, what not to eat, lifestyle changes, and the things you need to do. So don't blame it on your genetics. Well, my mother didn't live very long, so chances are I won't either. No, your mother didn't live very long probably because of her lifestyle, and if you follow her lifestyle, you're probably going to have the same results. So you can't blame everything on genetics. Very little, actually, you can blame on genetics. So one of the things, of course, you hear a lot about the Mediterranean diet. Now, I'm okay with the Mediterranean diet with a few tweaks. The Mediterranean diet pretty much is what I've been teaching you for the past 40 years. Eating a lot of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. They add a little bit of fish. They add a little bit of olive oil. I wouldn't eat the fish because fish is loaded many times with mercury and heavy metals. It's not a brain food. My mother always used to joke, if it's a brain food, how'd the fish get caught, So it's not a brain food. It does have some nutrients in it, but the negative effects far outweigh any positive effects. So if we tweak it a little bit of the Mediterranean diet, we're in good shape. Harvard researchers reporting in the British Medical Journal 2014 found that those who followed the diet most closely had longer, something called telomeres on their genes, not their blue genes, but on their genes. And what a telomere is, it's a little tail, and it's on the end of your gene. And when you're young, it's very long and it's very active. And as you get older, the telomeres start to shrink. That tells us your age, your chronological age, not your biological age, your chronological age. And so, I'm sorry, the other way around, your biological age, not your chronological age. And so what's happening there is you can have somebody who's 80 and have long active telomeres, and it could be like they're 40 and vice versa. So we find that eating a plant-based diet helps the telomeres stay long and active and keeps those genes healthy. Even those who sporadically followed the diet reaped some longevity benefits they found. So even if you weren't perfect, you still benefited from it. So I would take off the fish. I would take off the breads because wheat is very inflammatory. The olive oils, the big new trend, you know how you go through trends in healthcare? The trend now is vegetable oils. Cut out the vegetable oils. I agree. Okay? Corn, soy, canola, cut those out. They're high in omega-6 fatty acids. They're not good for you. Many times they're genetically modified. So if you're going to use an oil, you could use olive oil. Now, it's not good. It's still a seed. But it's a little better than what you're using. If you're going to do it, make sure it's organic. And here's how you tell. Because the big problem is a lot of oil importers and manufacturers are nefarious. They do bad things. And they'll mix the olive oil with other oils. And so you don't know if you have a good quality oil or not. It says right there, organic, 100%. Take the oil, put it in your refrigerator. Leave it there overnight. Next morning, take it out of the refrigerator. If it's cloudy, you've got a good olive oil. If it's not good olive oil. Bring it back to the store and tell them this is not good olive oil. Because the stores, all they are is they're just way stations. They don't manufacture it. They buy it and resell it at a profit. So you can tell them, hey, this isn't real olive oil, because they don't know what the manufacturers are selling. They trust the manufacturers. So that's a little trick. But cut down on your oil intake the best you can, because oils are not good for you, especially they're all processed if it's a liquid oil, so don't do that. Another secret to living longer is eating less. And there's a couple of groups of people that live very long. At the Okinawans in Japan, and the people, there's a mountainous group in Russia, and Loma Linda, California. So the Okinawans, okay, they live by the ocean, they live a more isolated life, and so they live a healthier life. The people who live in the mountains of Russia, same thing. But Loma Linda, California? How did they get to be on the top 3 as the longest living people? Well, they eat mostly a plant-based diet. It's the Seventh-day Adventists who live there, and they eat mostly a plant-based diet. Ellen White, she wrote a book with the Seventh-day Adventist, and it talks about eating a plant-based diet, and they're supposed to follow her guidelines. And so what did all 3 have in common? They eat mostly a plant-based diet. The Okinawans eat a little bit of fish, but not much. And so they're going to live a longer life. So the secret, really the ultimate secret, is you got to eat a plant-based diet. I mean, there's no rocket science there. It reduces risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, obesity, colon cancer, prostate issues, sexual dysfunction, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. So the big killers are reduced dramatically when we eat more of a plant-based diet. Now, if you don't know what a plant-based diet is, it's basically a vegan diet, but vegan could include cookies. Vegan could include breads. It could include alcohol. A plant-based diet is eating mostly plant-based. So it's vegan, but it's vegan with a spin. It's better than just being vegan. So I really want you to consider, if you don't know what to eat, if you go to our website, drjoe.com, and just type in the words, so what can I eat? And listen to the show we did. Actually, it's just me in a studio talking for an hour. And we talk about breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks. I also wrote a book on the topic. First book I ever wrote was called Eating Right for the Health of It. And that's on our website, drjoe.com. We have an ebook version. We have the hard copy version and soft cover, but it's a real book. And that's how, by the way, kids, that's how we used to download information. We had these things called books. And you can learn a lot from that as well. It gives you breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks, recipes. So I've got it all laid out for you, folks. I can't make it any easier unless I came to your house and prepared your meals, which I'm not going to do. But there's so much information on our website, drjoe.com, and we have over 2,000 hours of podcasts. And here's the thing. The cost for all this information, universities use my lectures. A lot of them use it in classroom teaching, high schools, colleges. They use our lectures and our radio shows for teaching. So the cost for all this information, all the podcasts, absolutely free. It's my gift to you. You can go to our website, drjoe.com, and just listen all you want. Over 2,000 hours there, audio and video. If you are a podcast junkie, just type in Dr. Joe for the health of it, Dr. Joe for the health of it, and you can catch our podcast there as well. So we're here to serve you. We're here to get you well and keep you well. So anything you like, if you have questions, you can always send it to me through the website, drjoe.com, and I'm happy to answer questions for you as well. Where else are you going to get this kind of access? Nowhere in the world you're going to get this kind of access. And I'm giving it to you, drjoe.com. Send us some information. You can make appointments, come see us there as well. So eating less is a good idea. And the reason is the Okinawans stop eating when they're about 80% full. And so that's another secret. Obesity, gluttony is a biggie. I haven't told this story in a while, but if you study Sanskrit, which is from India, it's religious writings in India, they talk about the Adam and Eve story like Christians do, and the way Jews do as well, and Muslims. They talk about Adam and Eve, but they have a different spin to it. Their spin is that God said to Adam and Eve, you could eat as much as you want, of anything you want, but don't eat more than you need. And their spin is that when Eve took the bite of the apple, that was one more bite of food than she needed. And that was original sin. Original sin was gluttony. So consider this. Gluttony is an original sin. I like that. Or I don't know if you want to consider the original sin, but a original sin. And stop eating. I did this the other day. I got some food from a place called Hippie Hibachi. It's a really cool, it's a vegan place. It's down in it's a place called, what's it called? The Mill? Anyway, it's in Atlanta. And they big portions. And I ate half and I stopped. And it was really good, so I wanted to keep eating. And I said, I got to stop this. So I stopped, I waited 10 minutes, and I was happy with my decision. I didn't have to eat the rest of the meal. Now, had I kept eating, I would have eaten the whole thing. So take a break in your meals and watch how much less food you eat. It's pretty amazing. And that'll reduce calories, blood pressure, cholesterol, insulin resistance. Cutting back on your intake is really important. Another thing that can add many years to your life is having more money. Money can't buy happiness, but it can make you live longer. 2016 study of Stanford researchers, published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, found that people whose income were in the top 1% lived 15 years longer than people who are in the bottom 1% of income. Now, that may be something that you don't have total control over, putting yourself in the top 1% of money earners. That's pretty high up there. But you do have control of other things. And what's going to happen is this. When you're healthy, you're going to save so much money. You're going to spend so much less money. And so you're going to be healthier, you'll work harder, live longer, work harder, and you'll be able to have that financial security. Because financial security is a big stress on your body, and stress is what we talk about every show. Chemical, mental, and emotional stress. Chemical, physical, and emotional stress. And so the chemical stress is what you eat. The physical stress, my team of doctors is really good at working on. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness. My team of doctors are very well trained at dealing with physical stress, pain. If you fix the chemical and the physical, the emotional is a lot easier to deal with. So having financial security helps with that emotional stress. So again, we're talking about things that can help you live longer. Now, I understand you're not going to do all of them. I understand you may not do some of them. That's okay. It's your call. I only give you information. What you do with that information, totally up to you. But I want to give you that information so that you can say, I want to incorporate this into my life. Had a patient come in the other day, and she said, Dr. Joe, I've been avoiding coming to see you for years. And I said, why is that? And she said, I'm afraid of you. And I said, what are you afraid of? I'm like the nicest, most docile human being on earth. And she said, I was afraid you were going to make me give up my coffee. And I hear this a lot, coffee, meat, sugar, whatever it is. And I said, I don't want you to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I don't want you to say I'm not going to do anything because I'm not willing to do one thing. It's okay to take baby steps. It's okay to make little changes in your life. And when you make those little changes, they become big changes overall. And what usually happens is people start out and say, okay, I'm going to give up artificial sweetener. All right, I give that up. Well, that was easy. Well, I can give up soda then. Okay, give up soda. Okay, then I'm going to give up, and this is, your list is going to be different. I'm going to give up meat. Wow, I gave up meat. Wow, I feel so much better. Oh my gosh, that's like the greatest thing in the world. Maybe I should give up dairy as well. Oh my gosh, I thought meat was great. I gave up dairy. Oh my gosh, this is crazy how much better I feel. And so it's a process. So I'm willing to negotiate with you. I'm willing to go through the process to try to get you to where you want to be. Now, if you do have a health issue, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, muscle weakness, come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love the opportunity to be your chiropractors. All my doctors right now are chiropractors. We have medical staff that we can refer to, nurse practitioners, medical doctors, pain management doctors, neurologists, neurosurgeons, orthopedic surgeons. So we work as a team, our extended family, so to speak, to try to get you the best treatment possible. So if you're ready to get well, if you're excited about this, and people come in all the time, Dr. Joe, I'm so excited to finally meet you. This is great. drjoe.com, you can book an appointment. Normally, our first visit is $712. We've reduced that to $299. And we haven't raised it, even though inflation is crazy. We're trying to make it so that you can be here. And what usually happens is once somebody's introduced to this lifestyle, they start getting chiropractic care, they start taking supplements, they start eating right, they feel so great, they get angry. They get angry because they didn't do it sooner. So if you want to start now, and don't waste time. Don't be afraid. Start now, drjoe.com. You can book it right online or call us. We accept people with all insurances. Sometimes we're in network, sometimes we're out of network. Don't worry about that. We're going to work with you the best we can. And if you're ever in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged. I've never seen it any other way. So if you're serious about wanting to get well, drjoe.com. We would love to be your doctors. And we're in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Other things that help you live longer, and this was kind of funny too. It tied so well in with what I was talking about with Loma Linda and people eating a plant-based diet. The states where people live the longest, Loma Linda, California, highest longevity, thanks to the Seventh-day Adventists, who live 8 to 10 years longer than the other people around them. Isn't that crazy? Nevada, Indiana, and Oklahoma have the lowest life expectancy. So if I had a pill, and this pill could say, I'm going to increase your life expectancy on average 8 to 10 years longer. Quality life. 8 to 10 years longer. Would you take the pill? Darn right you would. How much could I charge for that pill? I could charge a lot. I could charge almost whatever I wanted to. I don't have a pill. I have an answer for you, though. And the answer is free. So why wouldn't you follow this advice? I don't understand it. And again, you don't have to do it all at once. Do little steps. Get on the bandwagon. Get into the point where your body is healthy, where you're eating good foods, where you're taking care of your spine and your nervous system, where you're getting the body in motion, where you're getting out in the sun, where you're listening to these podcasts. One of the things I'm going to talk about, I hope I have time to today, is keeping the brain active. And by keeping the brain active, you have to learn new things. And it could be reading. We have books on the website, drjoe.com, and blogs. And keeping the brain stimulated by learning new things. And that will be our podcasts. So podcast, drjoe.com. We have over 2,000 hours, audio and video, in case you're a visual learner. And if you have a podcast service, just go to Dr. Joe for the health of it and listen to the podcast there. How much easier can we make this? I don't know. I struggle every day. How can I make it easier for my listeners to get this information? And so the information is out there. It's on the website. It's on your podcast servers, drjoe.com. Other things that can help you live a longer, happier, healthier life. We talked about chiropractic care, keeping the spine lined up so the joints don't wear out as fast. We talked about diet, supplements. You want to make sure you're getting high-quality supplements. We have a series, a line of supplements that are Dr. Joe approved because I put them together. And the big ones, the beginning, class 101 for nutrition would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. I take a scoop of each. They taste great. I would strongly advise you consider that. Taking them every day. Very inexpensive. And it's the best thing you can do for the best first step you can take for your diet, your nutrition. It's on the website, drjoe.com. If you come and pick them up, our office is Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. You don't have to pay shipping costs. It'll save you a couple of bucks. And we're still fighting to try to keep our costs as low as possible, folks. We really are. We're struggling with this because our suppliers, of course, are raising prices. So drjoe.com, you can pick them up right there. So you also want to find your purpose in life. People that live long lives enjoy themselves. They have a reason. I don't know if I say it right in French, raison d'être, a reason to live. Find your reason to live. When patients come in our office, many times we'll ask them, it sounds like a stupid question, why do you want to get well? What do you mean? Why do you want to get well? Oh, just tired of being sick. Okay. Is there a reason? Well, I'd really want to play with my grandkids. Great. That's a good reason. That's your reason. That's your purpose. I want to save money. I want to get healthy. I'm tired of being tired all the time. I'm afraid that if this gets worse, I may need surgery or I may die. And so we like to find out what the patient's purpose is so that we can then cater to that. You want to lift up your grandkids? Let's work on things that you can do to increase your flexibility, your squatting ability, your lifting ability, so you can play with the grandkids. You want to go fishing? Let's make sure the shoulders are working so that you can cast a rod. I don't like fishing, by the way. I don't think you should do it. But we try to get the patients happy and meet their goals. So finding your purpose is really important. Looking forward to doing something. 2014 study published in Lancet, which is a medical journal, researchers found that those with the highest sense of purpose were 30% less likely to die during the 8-year study of the 8-year period that this study took place. In fact, doing something that matters, whether it's helping your children, interacting with the community, is correlating with 7 extra years of life, according to researchers. Now, wait a minute. 7 extra years of life just by being happy. 8 to 10 years just by going to a plant-based diet. My gosh, that's 17 years right there just by doing 2 things. And if you're happy, if you're healthy, your chances are you're going to be happier. And if you're not, you're miserable. You sit around. I know many people say, I don't care if I die. I don't care if I die. Well, I've never been in that situation, so I can't say what I would do. But I would do everything I possibly could to stay healthy. And once everything else is exhausted, then you can surrender, throw in the towel. But so many people, when they come to us, they've given up already. And we give them hope, and we turn it around, and they get angry. Why didn't other doctors tell me about this? Why didn't other doctors tell me that the nervous system controls everything and pinched nerves can affect my organs, and it's really important to keep my spine healthy even if there's no pain? I don't know. I don't know those answers. I do know what does work, and that's what we're telling you today. So we're talking today about how to live the longest life. These are my secrets that I've come up with. I've researched for 40 years. I'm giving you a little look into my diary, the things that I've written down over the years, the things that work best. It's important you take care of your food as well, because about 3,000 people die every year from food poisoning. Now, if you've ever had food poisoning, many times you wish you were dead. I've had it already from bad food in restaurants. But healthy foods, like even sprouts, cantaloupes, berries, they can make you sick and even cause damage. Fish, of course, very dangerous. Raw meats, very dangerous. It's rare that plant products give you sickness. Many times they're contaminated with fecal matter from runoff from livestock. So again, it goes back to the animals. Again, we'll blame it on the animals. But make sure you keep your kitchen clean. There's a reason why there's a thing called kosher. Okay, kosher foods, you don't mix the blood with the milk, and you got to keep everything separate, even separate dishwashers. So, yeah, Moses knew what he was talking about. He understood that food safety was really important, and you didn't want to mix these things. They did it for religious reasons, but it really was for health reasons. He wanted to make sure that people stayed healthy. So, again, eating a plant-based diet, very rare that somebody gets sick. Eating an animal-based diet, very common that somebody gets sick. So, another reason. Now, once again, I'm not asking you to go plant-based. I'm giving you the facts, and what you do with those facts is totally up to you. I have one close friend who's plant-based. Everybody else isn't. So it's not like I only hang out with people that are plant-based, but I like to live as an example. And many times I have people make better choices because of what I do and what I say. So got to go to a break. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. Love to have you as a patient. Stop waiting. Stop waiting to be sick. Stop waiting until it gets worse. Just come see us. It's quick. It's easy. It's fun. We have a very good staff. My doctors are highly well trained. There's no reason why you shouldn't be coming to see us. We accept people with all insurances. Sometimes we have coverage. Sometimes we don't. We work with you on every case. Car accidents, please, folks. If you're ever in an accident, come see us immediately. Not only for your health, but for the case that is involved in the accident. Even if you caused the accident, still come see us. Also, if you're a veteran and you're under VA care, if the VA sends you here to us, the VA covers your visits. So there's no reason not to ask your VA doctor, I want to go see Dr. Joe for my pain management. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com. We'll be right back. Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. What we're talking about today, we're continuing on from a talk we were doing earlier, is the secrets that I've come up with to live a long, happy, healthy life. Longevity. Because that's kind of how you win the game. In this game, you win the game by who lives the healthiest and the happiest and the longest. And these are the secrets I've come up with over the past 40 years of researching health, of course. And we've said it before. I want to say it again in case you're just tuning in. 25% of your health care comes from your genetics. 75% are choices that you make. So you can't blame everything on genetics. In fact, you can blame very little on genetics. You have the options to change your direction. I was just reading an article the other day. I wish I'd saved it because I save everything. And for some reason, I skipped this one. And they were talking about autism. Now, autism is genetics, okay? But a lot of the genetics are altered because of what we call epigenetics, things outside of your genetics, epigenetics. And it's an environment, it's your diet, it's your upbringing, it's chemicals that you've been exposed to, it's what's been injected in your body. It's a lot of different things that affect the epigenetics. And with autism, they're finding that you get these autistic people on a good, high-quality supplement protocol, and they see dramatic improvements. Now, even something like Down syndrome, which definitely is genetic, okay, that's a big genetic player. The 23rd chromosome has 3 chromosomes on it. It's called trisomy 21st chromosome. Even people with Down syndrome, you get them on a good diet, and their body is able to function better. Doesn't fix it. Makes it better, okay? So you can't blame everything on genetics. You have to take responsibility for your own life. And we all do it. We blame it on other people. It's somebody else's fault that I'm late for work. It's somebody else's fault that, I don't know, that I didn't answer my phone when I was supposed to. It's somebody else's fault I ran out of gas. Well, when it comes to health, you have to take some responsibility here. And that's what's giving you tips today to take that responsibility. So one of the things, we talked a lot in the past couple of shows on a plant-based diet and how that really is the end game when it comes to living long. The more plant-based diet you eat, the better you are. Now, you may have an argument, and I've heard this silly argument before. Well, my grandmother, she ate meat and she lived to be 98 years old. The meat was different 100 years ago. Even the cigarettes were different back then. And now we have steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, tranquilizers, genetically modified foods, weed killers that are sprayed on the foods. Cigarettes are now used, they use radiation and the tobacco to make them grow faster in many cases. So it's a different world. And so, yeah, diseases ran rampant back then, but if you made it past a certain age, you had a good chance of living a good long life. So they had lifestyle that was different, even if they did eat meat. They also probably exercised. They ate organic food. They didn't even have the word organic. Everything was organic. They were outside more. They didn't sit inside. They didn't stare at their phones all day. There wasn't electromagnetic frequencies. The water didn't have a lot of chlorine and fluorine in it that can affect your thyroid function. So there's a lot of things that were different then than are now. And so you don't know you're going to win this game until at the end of the game, like any other game, this game of life, as Prince called it. So if you're going to win this game of life, you got to start doing all the right things now, today. Don't waste time. Every day that goes by, it's wasting time. Living higher up can help you live healthier. The 20 healthiest counties in America, many of them are in Colorado and Utah. So researchers think oxygen levels might cause your body to adapt in ways to strengthen your heart and your circulation. Lower oxygen, higher up in the mountains, that's a thing. It's not the thing. None of the things we're talking about are the thing, except plant-based diet is probably the closest to the thing. But you also have to have everything else. You eat a plant-based diet, live in New York City, and inhale exhaust fumes every day and have a stressful life, may not work the same way. Might help, but may not get you to where you want to be. We talk about fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. A European study on adults ages 55 to 69 who ate 10 grams of nuts daily. That's only 8 almonds or about 6 cashews, reduced their risk of death-related causes by 23%. Health-related causes, I'm sorry. Reduced their death by health-related causes by 23%. That's a huge jump. And what did they eat? 8 almonds, 6 cashews. I don't want you to eat a lot of nuts because they're fattening. But specific ailments, consuming a handful of nuts at least 5 times a week lowers the mortality risk of heart disease, respiratory disease, and cancer. And that was another study done. Sorry, peanut butter fans. Peanuts don't work. Peanuts are not nuts. They're legumes. They grow underground, and they many times develop something called a mycotoxin. Mycotoxin is a fungus that grows on the nuts because they're moist and they live dark and they grow underground, and many people have reactions to the mycotoxins. So I don't consider peanuts a healthy nut at all, and peanuts are also high in something called arginine. Arginine is an amino acid that can actually stimulate herpes virus outbreaks. Now, there's over 100 different types of herpes viruses out there. There's genital, there's shingles, there's oral herpes, and there's a bunch of others. But arginine can actually cause outbreaks. I had a patient just last week, big brawny fella, muscular guy, shingles, breaking out like crazy. Doc, I don't know what it is. It just started a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like I'm dying. The pain is so bad. Well, chiropractic care is very good for that because many times a pinched nerve, the nerve becomes weaker and the virus can attack it. So by adjusting the nerves that are being pinched, that many times helps. However, I said peanuts, and he looked at me and his eyes lit up. He said, "Oh my gosh, Dr. Joe," he didn't say gosh. He said, "I've been eating a ton of peanuts these past couple of weeks because I got them on sale and whatever it was." And he says, "I've just been eating a lot of them." And that's exactly when the outbreak came. I said, "Okay, no more peanuts. Cashews, a little high in arginine, not as bad as peanuts." But I said, "Cut your nuts back to about 6 or 8 a day. That's all you need." And that's fine. So if you have herpes outbreaks, consider peanuts as being one of the causes, actually. Chocolate can do it too. So eating nuts is a good thing. Too much nuts, they are high in fat, or too many nuts, they can cause you to gain weight. Because when people come to me, I was speaking to somebody the other day, is an amazing opera singer. And he said, "I'm trying to gain weight. I can't gain weight." I said, "Avocados and nuts. Have an avocado or 2 a day and a couple of handfuls of nuts. That's very high in caloric intake, and it's very fattening. And so that's one of the ways you can gain weight. But if you don't want to gain weight, just eat a little bit of that. I got to be careful when I eat guacamole. I'll eat a little bit. If I have too much, boom, I just feel like I blew up. So again, healthy foods can not, got to make wise choices as well. Getting social is really important to extending your life expectancy. Studies show loneliness causes an increase in death by 45%. Now, a lot of people are lonely. After my father passed away, my mother said, "I just feel like I'm so alone in the world." And I talked to my senior patients, and they say the same thing. We all feel like we're alone in the world. So everybody out there wants to be friends. They want to have friends and be friends. Most people, I should say. And you can help that. And so that's why I'm a big fan of things like senior citizens groups, travel. I know there's a group called Solo Adventurers, I think it is, in Atlanta. You can go on vacation as a solo traveler. I've done it. It's great. And so people, as they get older, especially, you don't have a job, you don't have school, you don't have kids. How do you make friends? I was at an event the other night, and I ran into some guys I hadn't seen in years and maybe decades. And this one guy, Jeff, comes up to me. He goes, "Joe, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever." And we start chatting a little bit, and he says, "We should hang out." And I thought, interesting. So we're all looking for friends and being social, but sometimes that can be challenging. So you cut off strong ties that we have with family. Maybe your friends are passing away. I've had that happen recently. A very good friend of mine passed away. When you're alone, it weakens the immune system. It raises your blood pressure, and it increases your risk of heart attack or stroke. People with strong ties to family and friends have as much as 50% lower risk of dying, according to a study. It's called PLOS, P-L-O-S Medicine. It's a journal. So visit a friend. Don't discount online friends. A 2016 study out of University of California, San Diego found that those who used Facebook lived longer. So even just looking at Facebook or Instagram was helpful because at least you had some connection to the outside world. So stay in touch. It's really important to do that. And if you know somebody who's alone, well, reach out to them. Be their friend. Take them out to lunch. Take them out to dinner. Bring them dinner. And you don't even have to spend a lot of time. But I knew my mom in her later years. I wanted her to come live with me, and she wouldn't. I'm still mad at her for not coming to live with me. But she would say, "I don't know if even my friends are alive anymore. I had no way of reaching out to them anymore." And so if I went to visit, it was just crazy highlight. She lived up in New York. And it was just such a highlight to her that I would come visit even for the weekend. And she said, "I feel bad because when you come here, I make you do things. I make you clean." She was somewhat invalid in her later years. And she'd make me clean and do the laundry and, give her a bath and feed her. And I said, "Mom, I love doing this stuff for you. This is what a son does. This is what family does." And it's so important for her to do that. And it's important for you to take that initiative. Because God willing, you're going to be in that situation someday that you're old and you're going to want people around you. So socializing is really important. And that's why find groups There's so many groups on social media now. If you're a hiker, if you're Italian, if you're an Italian hiker, if you like bicycling, if you like dogs, if you don't like dogs, there's social groups that you can go out and meet because everybody's in the same boat you are. Everybody's looking for that friend, that connection. And so a lot of times it just be dinners. I know as a vegan, there's a lot of vegan groups, and they just plan lunches or dinners and go by yourself because everybody's in the same boat. So I stress that, the importance of that, because that affects the mental health. And the three things we want to have in our lives is good physical health, good chemical health, and good mental health. And those are the three things we have to address. Now, if you have physical issues, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, digestive issues, that's where my team of doctors might be able to help. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, we would love the opportunity to be your doctors. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. And all you have to do is go to our website, drjoe.com, type in, just go to the pick. We have the offices listed on the website. Click on it. You can book an appointment right online. If you want to call us, we're happy to answer any questions you might have and book it for you. We accept people with all insurances. Sometimes there's in-network coverage. Sometimes there's no coverage. Out-of-network. We'll solve that when you bring in your insurance policy. People with no insurance. I'd probably say 40, 50% of our patients don't have insurance. But chiropractic care is the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain, back pain. Why wouldn't you start with the most effective, least expensive? Every day, patients come in. Dr. Joe, I had surgery, I had injections, I had all this done, it didn't help. Let's start with the most conservative, least invasive treatment, chiropractic care. We can always add to that. We can add injections, we can add surgery, we can add PRP, we can add stem cells. We can add all these things later on, but let's start out conservatively. Let's see what happens. We have a new machine now. It's called acoustic wave therapy. Unbelievable. It's a machine, and it's totally non-invasive. It's totally outside the body, and it sends acoustic waves into the body, and you kind of move it along the muscle, and when you hit a trigger point, it hurts like a son of a gun. And within seconds, it breaks up those trigger points. It increases circulation. It recruits stem cell production. Crazy effective. And we've used it on so many different things. Knee pain. People have had knee pain for years, weren't responding to anything, including injections. We did this, great results. Plantar fasciitis, off the chart. Neuropathy, off the chart. Shoulder issues, wrist issues, carpal tunnel syndrome. And the results have just been crazy good. And the treatments are quick, 3-4 minutes of treatment. So that's part of the things that we've added to our treatment plan, along with the chiropractic, along with the nutrition, along with the supplements, along with the digestive issue stuff. I don't know of anybody else in the world that does what we do. And the reason, somebody asked me the other day, why do you do what you do? You like nonstop working. You're seeing patients, you're doing radio, you're doing television, you're writing books. The reason I do it is because I love seeing the results. I love seeing people get well. And that's why we keep adding new things to it. Because every time something new comes out, I want to know if it's going to work, and I want to offer it to you. So the reason we do what we do is because we want to get the best results that we feel we can. And if we can't treat that patient or their issue, we refer them out. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. You can book it right online. Normally, the first visit is $712. We've reduced that for our listeners and anybody you refer to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, the follow-up visit, going over the x-rays, very in-depth, and then a complete nutrition evaluation. You're not going to get the x-rays alone would cost you more than $299 anywhere else. So we want to introduce you to chiropractic care, natural health, nutrition, chiropractic, acoustic wave therapy, whatever it takes to get you the best results that we feel we can get. So make the appointment right now, drjoe.com. Stop suffering needlessly. Patients say every day, gosh, doc, I wish I'd done this 10 years, 20 years, 30 years ago. I wish I had 2. Don't be one of those people. Just come in and see us. So other things that we can do to live longer. We talked about socializing. If you have the opportunity, babysit. Watching grandkids is amazing, and it reduces your risk of dying by 1/3, according to a 2016 study in the evolution of human behavior. So that adds up to about an extra 5 years of your life. They speculate that caregiving gives grandparents a sense of purpose and keeps them mentally and physically active. Now, if you don't have grandkids, you can volunteer. You can foster. There's lots of places that you can help out with kids. And if you never had kids, they're fun. They're exhausting, but they're fun. And all the better, you can be a grandparent and not have to deal with all the exhaustion just a few hours a day if you want to. And believe me, we need daycare workers desperately in this country. So that might be even a job you can do, a part-time job. If you're retired, you want to go do something, go work in daycare. It's a lot of fun. Another thing that can keep you living longer, stay out of the hospital. Johns Hopkins University study found that some 250,000 patients die each year from medical mistakes such as misdiagnoses, poor practices and condition, and drug errors. It's called iatrogenic cause. Iatrogenic means caused by the healthcare provider. So that's something you might want to start looking at. If you've ever been in a hospital, I'm sure you've been disappointed. I don't know of a lot of people that have had good hospital experiences. The food. This is interesting. I was talking to a patient just the other day. And they did a study, and they took the same amount of calories and fats, and they gave people ultra-processed foods, and they gave them minimally processed foods. Same calories, same fat content. Ultra-processed foods, if you don't know what that term is, it's kind of a new word. Ultra-processed foods means that the food has ingredients that you wouldn't find in an average recipe. So you wouldn't find polyglycol in an average recipe. Red dye number 4, you wouldn't find that in an average recipe. And so minimally processed foods might be, let's say, a bowl of cereal with a bunch of chemicals and additives and some fruit juice and some crackers versus oatmeal with fresh fruit and maybe like a starch, like a potato or something like that. So the same amount of fat, same amount of calories, dramatic differences in how well the people healed. So I want you to consider your food being minimally processed. I always say if it has a label on it with ingredients, it's probably not good for you. Now that's, of course, a little stretch, but if you can't pronounce the ingredients, don't eat it. It's just that simple. Now, there are some foods that are okay to eat that you can't pronounce, like methylcobalamin. Maybe you can't pronounce that word. That's vitamin B12. It's good for you. But generally speaking, if you can't pronounce the ingredients, don't eat it. So other things that can help you live longer is read more. Sounds like we made it up, but scientific research supports longevity benefits of reading. Newspapers, magazines are going to do fine, including books. As little as half an hour a day of book reading had significant survival advantage over those who did not read. I read all day, every day. I'm researching so that I can give you the latest information on what's happening in the healthcare world so that we can deliver you that information. But I'm going to let you in on a secret. I do it for myself. I do a lot of this research because I want to live the happiest, healthiest, longest living, youngest life I can. And so then I share it with you. So I have a little selfish motivation for doing these podcasts and these radio shows, these TV shows, writing books, and even seeing patients. Because when I see patients, I learn a lot too. So I'm always learning for myself, and then I just kind of give you some of the leftover stuff. Not the leftover, you give it all, actually. I've written 2 books. They're on the website, drjoe.com. There's some good reading there. We have lots of blogs on our website. You could read the blogs. So there's tons of information out there, just on our website alone, drjoe.com, that we want to help you. Once again, we're talking about secrets to living longer. You don't have to do all of them. I'm just giving you a menu. You can pick and choose what you like and then watch the results. And the nice part is there should be results. Make sure you get yourself checked. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, come see us. If the joints are out of place causing pain, they're wearing out every day. That's speeding up the aging process, causing inflammation, speeding up the aging process. So come see us. Don't waste time. Don't think, oh, it's going to go away. Oh, it's not that bad. If I take some over-the-counter medication, it's okay. I was talking to somebody the other day, and he poisoned his liver with ibuprofen. He was in pain. He was in a car accident, took ibuprofen. Doctor said it's fine, no big deal. It's over-the-counter, so in his mind, it's safe. And he almost died from it. So one of the things we talked about the last time we did a show was come off your pain meds. And chiropractic care, especially all chiropractic is great, but we had chiropractic, and then we had nutrition, and then we had the soft tissue work and the digestive work. But get to a chiropractor if you're in pain. Hopefully you'll see us, but there's a lot of good chiropractors out. A lot of bad ones too, by the way. So yeah, find yourself a good chiropractor. Come see them. Us. would be good. I think you'll be amazed with the results. So monitor yourself. Had somebody send me an email the other day, and they said, Dr. Joe, I've had a pimple on my tongue for 3 weeks now. You know what my advice was? Go see your medical doctor immediately. Could be cancer. Could not be cancer. But after 3 weeks, you know what? This isn't a chiropractic case. Let's get you under medical care and then come see us once you're approved that it's not cancer, and then we can do hopefully some magic with you as well. So monitor yourself. Have a carbon monoxide detector in your house. I have them in my upstairs and downstairs. I got the high expensive ones, like $40 each. That's a good investment. I hope I never have to use them. I hope I wasted $80. That's my goal on that. Women doctors. Harvard University analyzed Medicare records documenting more than 1.5 million hospitalizations. They found that patients who receive care from female physicians were more likely to survive and less likely to be readmitted to the hospital within 30 days of discharge. Half my staff are women. I proudly say that. And I don't say it because they're women. I proudly say it because they're great workers. We have a very diverse group of people that we work with. And I didn't hire any of them because of their diversity. I hired them because they're the best at what they do. And so that's how I want to hire people that are the best. I don't care what they are or who they are. I care that they're the best. And that's what I consider my staff. It's my opinion. Another thing that can help you live longer, and this is a real tough one, make peace with your family. You don't choose your family, but I don't know anybody. A friend of mine, Lou, one time said to me, he says, hey, Joe, you know anybody who came from a functional family? You always hear about dysfunctional families. And I thought, yeah, I don't even know of a functional family, do I? And the few that I thought were that I met over the years, turns out they had dysfunction too. But stressing over your family can cause all sorts of problems. It turns out to be one of the strongest predictors of early disease, of aging, and studies of early mortality. So it may be tough to find peace with them, but sometimes you have to let things go. So that's a big issue and a big determining factor on how long you're going to live. And stay active, move a lot, take the stairs, walk if you can. I try to walk about 20 minutes a day. The more radio and television I do, the less I walk, I find. So a lot of times I'll do my show standing up just so that gives me my 20 minutes of staying active there. But walking is such a great exercise. It's probably one of the safest ones you have. Swimming is great too. All right, folks, I'm almost out of time. If you have any healthcare questions, send them to my website, drjoe.com. There'll be a little bot that pops up. Send me your questions. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Please follow us on social media. We do live podcasts. We give away things all the time on social media. We got a bunch of stuff we want to give away coming up actually on social media. So our handle is at Dr. Joe Esposito. That's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Follow me on LinkedIn. If you're a chiropractor or a nurse practitioner and you're looking for a job, again, we have a tough time finding good people. We're looking to hire a chiropractor and a nurse practitioner. So if you're one of those people or a physician's assistant, send me a message through the website. I'm more than happy to talk to you about that. If you're a podcast junkie, it's Dr. Joe for the health of it. But most importantly, just come make an appointment. We have offices in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We want to help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com.